now in a big scenario with this great game between Miami and Loyola of Illinois. It's 55-53, 5:16 to go. Let's go back to the play-by-play. First round game, second game of the day, winner gets Tennessee.
Team possession for the Ramblers.
Richardson inbound baseline left, throws it into Ingram in the corner. Out to Jackson, now to Towns. Inside 5 minutes to go in the game. Loyola trails by 2. Towns with the basketball, dribbling right. Heads back to the left, dribbled it off his foot. Picked up by Lawrence. Lawrence on the run, 3-on-2 break. Finds Likes. Likes reverse layup, spins it off the glass. No, Lawrence there, and he tipped it in. Likes wasn't able to finish, but Lawrence right there above the iron with the right-hand tip. 57-53 Miami, 4:39 to go. Custer with the dribble out near midcourt, watched by Likes. Brings it over on the left wing, handoff Richardson. Richardson dribbling right, stops above the foul line. Out to Ingram, left side to Custer. Down low to Jackson, left baseline against Huell. Jackson into the paint, fakes, turns, fades, fires, good. Fake to the middle, turn to the baseline, and Andre Jackson brings Loyola back within 2.
And that's called creating space, knowing Huell has the height advantage by spinning back and reversing the pivot. That gave him enough space to get that little shot right over the top.
57-55 Miami, 4:05 to go. Here's a drive by Huell, finds Newton in the right corner. He fumbled it away out of bounds. Back to Loyola with 4:03 remaining. Vasiljevic back into the Miami lineup, and Likes will have a seat. Unforced error that time by the Hurricanes.
Well, lost possession by Newton right there, trying to go before he gathered the basketball. Let's see if the Ramblers can take advantage of the turnover.
Custer will bring it across the timeline. Up high to Jackson. Left side to Richardson, out front to Ingram. High right to Towns now. Lob it down to the right baseline. Jackson, rip through move on Huell, got down to the baseline, cut off. Flips it back to Ingram. He'll rise up, 14-footer right of the lane, no. Strong off the back of the rim, and the rebound taken down by Walker for Miami. Slowly across the timeline, Jim Larinaga gets his team organized. Jaquan Newton over on the right side to Lawrence. Lawrence up top to Huell. Huell holds the basketball at his waist, takes a dribble to the right, spins back left, puts in a shot in the paint, no, but a foul. Huell rising up over top of
and
Jackson.
And there will be a timeout, and we begin. Nice to have you with us for hour 3 of our radio program here on NCAA Tournament Day number 1 on this 15th day of March, the year 2018, as we chat to you about what's going on as far as the world of college basketball is concerned. Lots to do. We got Bob Wenzel here in a sec. Let's just recap the scores for you in case you're just joining us, getting your NCAA Day started and figuring out what's going on. 4 games in the books from earlier in the afternoon. The 2 good ones were Rhode Island, who needed an overtime to beat an Oklahoma team, a game Trae Young Oklahoma team, 83-78. As Rhodey, down at the half, had a chance to win it at the end of regulation, ended up pulling away in the overtime and won by 5. That little lefty guard played well, and Rhode Island advanced, and they will most likely, it's not completed yet, but Duke is up by about 20, and that will be their opponent on the Saturday afternoon. We keep an eye on that. Gonzaga, what was the final score in the Duke-Iona game?
Just went final, 89-67.
All right, 89-67 for Duke. So Duke and Rhodey will be on Saturday afternoon. Duke easily handles Iona. Gonzaga beat North Carolina Greensboro. Excellent game, 68-64. Greensboro had the game tied with the ball late and ended up missing a shot or 2. They tried an alley-oop. No matter of fact, they had a 2-point lead and the ball. They tried an alley-oop, threw it out of bounds, and Gonzaga hung on, made a free throw at the end to put it away. Bob will analyze that game in a second. Gonzaga will play the winner, I think if it's Ohio State, is it not?
Yes.
And South Dakota State, and Ohio State and South Dakota State are tied there at the half. Kansas beat Penn today. They were down 21-11, 76-60 for the Jayhawks. They will play the winner of Seton Hall and NC State. Good game there. The second game in Wichita right now, 5 minutes to go in a half, and Seton Hall leads 41-36. Tennessee, a very easy win for Rick Barnes today, 73-47. That lead beat Wright State, so Tennessee awaits the winner of the Nevada Tech. No, they play the winner of the Miami Loyola game, which is the game that we were just referring to, which right now is a 2-point lead for Miami. That is your college basketball today, Bob. Let me hear a little thumbnail what you've seen so far this afternoon before we go back to the play-by-play.
Well, Danny Hurley's team rose to the occasion in the best game of the day, an overtime win over Trae Young, this year's one of the best freshmen in all of college basketball, who had 28 points and 7 assists, but made some shots late that were taken that were ill-advised, in my opinion. And E.C. Matthews turned out to be the star for Rhode Island in that game. game. He made 2 threes in the endgame situation to seal the victory for Rhode Island. Tennessee dominated. Rick Barnes has done an unbelievable job in the regular season. Tennessee was picked near the bottom of the SEC, and they've risen to the occasion. They were a 3 seed in the big dance, and they looked like it today. Very balanced team, both inside and outside. Gonzaga survived a scare, and they are taking a deep breath right now. And that was an excellent play by UNC Greensboro. Their coach is a UNC guy, so they play a lot like the Dean Smith philosophy in that game. And in the game, Gonzaga's Norvell, you described it a little bit about the lob play there. That was questionable. But at the other end, right after that lob play, Norvell, who's a redshirt freshman, made a 3 to give them the breathing room to win the game.
Right. And right now, Bob, we have this good one here. This is going to go right down to the wire. We'll get a recap as we move it along. Let's get to the free throw line with Miami up to 3:28 to go.
Westwood One Sports by following us on Twitter at Westwood One Sports. That's Westwood, the number 1, then Sports. You'll also find a link to our Twitter page and much, much more at WestwoodOneSports.com. Second free throw bounces and comes out. 58-55 Miami. 3:23 to go. Towns will bring the dribble into the front court, get it to Krutwig above the right elbow, hands it off for Custer. He dribbles right, stop of the elbow, out front Towns. His 3, back to the iron, bounces high, comes out. Huell, the 2-handed rebound for the Hurricanes.
Wow, and that was a shot that was wide open at the top. Towns just not unable to knock it in, but well drawn up play.
Newton gets it up top to Lawrence. Lawrence dribbling left side, hand it off for Walker. Walker, watched by Ingram out front, backs up his dribble. Shot clock down to 11. Over to Newton, high on the right side. High screen from Huell. Newton refuses. Dribbles right down to the baseline. Newton finds Huell. Right of the lane. Puts it up off the glass with the right hand and scores. Huell made himself available. He scores to get into double figures with 11. 60-55 Miami. 2:37 to go. Towns dribbling right side. Handed off Richardson. Brings the dribble left. Hand off Custer. Custer stops off the right elbow. Throws it inside to Krutwig, and he's fouled going up to make the catch. Loyola going back to that pick and roll that was so successful for them in the first half.
But Anthony Lawrence on that time, he has to be on the string. When the ball goes opposite of him, that's when he can creep into the lane and play kind of a zone defense on the weak side. By him staying out, when he tried to recover, he came late. Hence, he picked up the foul.
Krutwig will step to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. He is 1 for 2 at the stripe, 73% during this season. Krutwig eyes the rim. He shoots. It is good. Hit the front of the rim, up off the backboard, and drop through. And that'll put Krutwig into double figures. Well, you figure Miami is comfortable in these situations. 16 of their 18 ACC regular season games were decided by single digits.
Well, they're comfortable playing in late game situations, and with their 10 losses, a lot of them have been 10 points or less. So they've been in a lot of games where they either won or lost, but they've won some games when they felt the pressure down the stretch.
Krutwig gets the second free throw to drop, 60-57, 2:18 to go. Miami with the ball and the lead. Likes with it out front, leave it for Lawrence. Takes a dribble, looking to Huell, gets it to a mid-post on the right. Huell spins toward the middle, back to the baseline, trying to throw it inside. Krutwig took it away. Good defense by the Loyola big man. Back to Towns, here come the Ramblers. Porter Moser, the head coach, calling out the set. Custer's going to come take the basketball. Custer pounds it down with the right hand, leave it for Towns on the wing. Towns looks out at Ingram, he's covered up by Lawrence. Lawrence playing with 4 fouls now for Miami, and we've got a whistle and a foul, and that's going to go against Lawrence, and I think that's number 5. Actually, I take it back for Lawrence, that's just his 3rd of the game.
Yeah,
or no, wait a minute. Our stat monitor froze over here on us. I think that is number 5 on Lawrence, and it is. He's fouled out.
And to boot, it was a tough play because he denied the initial thrust for Ingram to get the ball. Then he came back, and just at the end, just a little too much contact. You foul out negative. The other negative now, Ingram goes to the free throw line.
Ryan Radke, Jim Jackson here at our Grainger courtside seats in Dallas. Winning teams know the value of a good 6-man. Count on Grainger when you need a boost off the bench. Visit Grainger.com for the products to help your business succeed. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. Ingram at the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Free throw is up. It is no good off the back of the rim. Krutwig taps it out, and Likes has it and gets fouled by Towns. No, they're going to say held ball. And now the other official is coming in. They're going to talk about this. One official saying held ball, one is saying foul, and it's going to be a foul against Loyola.
Correct call.
Krutwig tapped the ball out. Likes went up into the air, had both hands on it, ended up hitting the deck. The official on the near side said held ball. The official from the far side said foul, and it will be a foul. No free throws, though. The 6th team foul against Loyola.
Yeah, and I think the possession error was still with Miami, even if it was a jump ball, but you pick up a foul on Ingram.
Miami with the basketball out front. Likes with it. Gets it out high to Walker. Walker dribbling right side beyond the arc. Gets it in the paint. Huell, he stumbled going to the basket, lost the ball. Picked up by Krutwig. Over on the left side to Towns. Loyola down by 3. Towns with the basketball. Over to Custer out high on the right. Custer looking, leaves it for Towns. Towns up top to Williamson. Right back to Towns, right wing. Bounce pass goes down low. Richardson over to Custer, left corner 3. It's good for the tie. Custer hit it from the left corner. He's got 14. We are all locked up. 60 apiece, 1:05 to go.
Porter Moser set that play up from the minute they got the ball, and the Ramblers executed it to perfection.
Timeout, Miami.
Well, what a job by Bob Wenzel. He said they will run good offense and get good plays in the last minute or 2 of this game, and that's exactly what they did. And Miami made 2 huge turnovers, which really hurt them in this spot, and a timeout by Larinaga. Reminds you a little bit of UCLA the other night against St. Bonnie's. UCLA ran some bad plays, Holiday and everything else, and they turned it over a couple of times and gave St. Bonnie's a chance. Same thing happened with Miami on 2 straight possessions.
The turnovers that Miami just had, you described them well. They were on switches. It looked like the big guy was open on his roll to the basket, but Loyola sent small players from the weak side, and when the big guy caught the ball, he put it on the floor, bam, steal. Twice that happened in there. And then Clayton Custer, who's the player of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference, made a left corner 3 that tied the game right there. And I'll tell you what, this is an unbelievably fun game to watch.
Excellent. Now, what do you want to do quickly here if you're Larinaga? What you want to run with a minute to go, about 25 seconds on the clock? What do you want to do here?
Well, he's got his small backup point guard in the game, so this kid is a penetrator. He's hard to guard. But what they've been doing is they've been using pick and roll with him, and it's been unsuccessful. If he's going to penetrate, I would like to see him penetrate without a big man, just on his own. So now his play is he gets to the lane and dishes off to a big man or shoots it, and on the offensive rebound, Miami tips in, which is their strength.
60-60, back to it.
Big man surveys, dribbles over on the right side, picks up his dribble, leaves it for Vasiljevic, shot clock at 10. Back out to Newton now, 44 seconds left. Newton pounds it down with the right hand. Newton dribbling right, down to the baseline, step back 19-footer is good. Jaquan Newton fading away, gives Miami the lead. 62-60, 34 seconds left. Custer over the timeline, hands it off for Towns. Towns surveys, looks to his right, now dribbles left into the paint, got the ball slapped away, and a foul. And that's going to send Towns to the free throw line, a chance to tie it up with 26 seconds remaining. Back down to this end. How about the shot by Jaquan Newton?
Well, how about the step back? It's always tough as a right-handed player to step back to your right because you never get a chance to square your shoulders up to the rim, especially on the baseline. That's just a heck of an offensive play by Newton.
Meanwhile, Towns will step to the free throw line with a chance to tie it. 72% free throw shooter. Towns eyes the rim. Free throw in the air. And it's no good. A little bit long and a little bit left for Marcus Towns. Wardenberg back in for Miami. Vasiljevic will sit. One more free throw for Towns, the junior from Edison, New Jersey. Deldre Carr, the official, talking to the players, now getting a sub into the ball game. It's Dante Ingram, and he wants to come in for Towns, so he has to wait at the table. Towns now trying to bring Loyola within 26 seconds left. Free throw is up. That one bounces and drops. So Towns with 7 points. Now Ingram is in. Only 26 seconds left. How long do you wait to foul if you're Loyola, Jim?
I would try to get the ball in the deep quarter, force Miami to hold the ball, anticipating a foul. Maybe you can get a 5-second call. If not, on that first pass out, you foul.
Jaquan Newton gets it to Walker, got the ball slapped away off his knee and out of bounds. And it's going to go back to Loyola. Walker made the catch, turned up the floor. The ball was knocked away, and it went off his knee and out of bounds. Loyola's going to take a timeout with 23.5 seconds left.
Wow, boy,
well, you get the ball in bounds, but at the last minute, Lucas Williams slaps the ball down.
They have called a timeout, so 62-61 it's going to be. But Bob, did he call this game? Now he's got to see if they get a basket, but Loyola here has got an opportunity down by 1. What are they going to do? Jump shot?
Well, they're going to just run their stuff and take whatever they can get.
Have not made free throws.
No,
Don't go to the line.
That's been a problem. And so if you're Miami and you're aware of that, you might foul. But Towns, who just missed, is out of the game right now. Ingram is in for him. So they're bigger, and Ingram is classically their best player in terms of athleticism and so on. So he's in, he's bigger. So Custer would be the guy that you would want to take the shot. Lonnie Walker, who is a freshman on Miami's team, just fumbled that ball out of bounds trying to make a play going down the sideline, which was a little bit ill-advised. He should have just caught the ball, passed it to somebody against the press.
And they're checking on the replay to make sure it's out of bounds off him, and let's take a look. Definitely. It definitely will be Loyola ball
for sure.
with a chance to win. We've had 3 very good games today, 2 of which we don't want to give to you, which is important. So it's going to be a Loyola ball down by a point, 23-5 to go. Let's see what they run. Bob and I will be right back to analyze after we hear the basket. Is this Radke and Jimmy Jackson? Stick with us.